we've got to do a better job up front. I mean, and they did. They had 13 hurries, and credit to them. They did a really good job. We knew they had a strong front that was good at not necessarily running around you, but pushing guys back into them, and they did that. And obviously it affected a few throws. They knocked one down first play of the game for an interception. It affected a couple, the last play of the game, he got his arm hit and the ball's intercepted. So it probably affected a few throws that he did throw. So I know they didn't sack us as much, but they did put the pressure and they did make the lanes tight, and maybe a couple times we had to throw the ball earlier than we want. But it's a total group effort.
On those tip passes, not just yesterday, but it's been an issue at different games this season. Are there things that you can do, especially with this off week with Nick? Yeah. Is there, or because you're in the shotgun all the time, does it make it harder to do those longer drops? Can you even think about like a 7-step is just not even a possibility?
Well, you convert drops when you're in the shotgun. So, in the gun, most everything's a 1-step or a 3-step or maybe a 3-step with a hitch. Well, that would be the same as a 3-step, a 5-step or so. I mean, you can take a 5-step in the gun, and that's kind of like a 7-step. From drops to protections and cutting and all those things, there are different things you can do. Sometimes a quarterback's got to throw through lanes depending on the kind of concept. Other times, they got to get the ball, throw it on time. And, obviously Kansas State. And then, last night it's been an issue more than it has been. And so that's something that with this week off, I'm definitely going to take a look at. Is there something we can do to help prevent that from happening? Or is it more just 2 exceptions? But we've got to cure that because it's responsible for 2 of his 3 interceptions.
So what's the thought process on Rock when using him early in the game and then not really going back to him?
Well, I think, our plan was to play him more. And we had specific plays for him. Some we got him in there and we had to get out of. Others, we were able to run, and of course then he made some really good runs. I think we feel like he's getting to where he's ready. He showed great burst, made some really good runs, and he held on to the football, which was good. In the second half, I think Tim would probably like to got him in a little more, but we were in more protection situations at those times. It just seemed like it worked itself out on 3rd downs or 2nd and 10s, and you try to protect a younger guy and not put him as many protection situations if you can help it. At the same time, he was probably in on at least half a dozen passes, and for the most part, at least execution-wise, he knew what to do. He didn't have any bust. Maybe technique-wise he could get better, but definitely see his role expanding.
How big is this bye week for him? Is it a good time for him just personally? Because, as you said, you expect his role to expand, and how does that cut into what Cap's doing with his carries?
Definitely would expect it to help him. The more and more reps you can get as a young guy, the better. It's just common sense and protections, running the ball, just feeling more comfortable with Nick or Jeremy or whoever. And I think it's a positive for Cap because you saw last year when Trey got rolling, Cap was a great compliment to him. He still rushed for over 600 yards. Corey had his stuff. It'd be the same way, just in a little bit reverse maybe. If Cap can now not only get a blow at times, but the change of pace helps. They're a little different style backs, and so I think that could be a positive for both of them. They could help feed off each other.
How about Corey? I think he's had 5 carries the last 2 games. Just the one.